திடலாக்கி என் மகனகத்து மனரங்க என் மனாட தொட்டி என் மகளாளர் தொட்டி எட்டி
Take any Indian family at random and they share one common phenomenon. Not one of these married couples will have seen each other before their wedding day. Yet their marriage is the painstaking result of months of searching and would have strained their family resources to near breaking point. For Indians, marriage is dictated as a religious duty. It is essential to the second of the four main stages in a Hindu's life. In this stage, one must marry, bear children, and build a family dynasty. Love and romance are minor considerations. Every marriage in India is an alliance of families and an opportunity to make a public statement about the family status. For the super rich, it is an occasion to discard discretion in an opulent display of wealth and power. The cost of this Bombay wedding is said to have been $8 million American. 7,000 guests have been invited to witness an alliance of two diamond trading families. It has been necessary to hire a sports stadium for the occasion, and several former Maharajas are cited amongst the honoured guests. It is even rumoured movie stars have been paid to make an appearance. Nothing is too good for the groom, the star of the show. The entertainment includes an elaborate stage performance. And the week of celebrations will provide employment for scores of service industries. By sharp contrast, a village wedding is a humble affair, though no less elaborate. Sabita Pani is the last of 4 sisters in her family to be married off. Most brides' families will dig deep into their pockets and often go hopelessly into debt to pay for the wedding feast. For the entire Biraramachandapur village in the state of Orissa must be invited, and the hospitality be such that it'll be talked about for weeks. 2 kilometers away, the groom is preparing for his wedding procession. This is an alliance of 2 humble village families. The fathers of the bride and groom, both village school teachers, orchestrated the match. The lavishly decorated hire car is probably the only time the groom will ever travel by automobile. Most of the women from his family will not accompany him to the wedding ceremony. So they gather for the rituals of a send-off. Today, he is the respected dominant male of the family, a token gift of money in his hand, a prayer, and he's on his way. Ritual dictates that he must carry these rice grains all the way to the bride's village. procession is called the Bharat, a public statement of pride and display as the groom goes to claim his bride. The bride and groom are to meet for the very first time on this, their wedding day. Along the way, the Bharat stops at several temples for blessing this enterprise. The couple will strive to emulate the marriage of their gods, such as Rama and Sita, whose legends they learnt as children. For her family, the occasion is a serious one. They await the arrival of the Bharat, anxious that the celebrations will make the groom happy. The bride's family meet the arrival of the groom with dance. Her parents will soon fulfill their duty, but in the process they must lose their daughter. The 2-kilometer distance to her husband's home might as well be light years away. She will rarely see her own folk again. Sabita is on show for her husband's family. It's the first time they've seen her. She's inspected to ensure there are no physical blemishes. If there were, even at this late stage, the marriage could be cancelled. With her father at her side, the elaborate Sanskrit words of ancient Vedic rituals begin the ceremonies. She is then presented in all her glittering finery. He wears a decorated cardboard crown. For in India, the husband is king. A successful deal clinched, the two fathers now sit side by side. The priest is her grandfather, and the simple ceremony ends with the tying of the hands, symbolic of the unity they must now embody. There will be no honeymoon. The bride must move immediately into her husband's home and take over the chores of looking after him and his family. She has to befriend and obey her mother-in-law, even before getting to know her husband, for upon that will depend the success of her marriage. He too must get to know the stranger. They won't share a room until 3 days have passed. Then there will be a feast to formally welcome her to the household. In the past, matchmaking was done by the family priest or a maiden aunt. Today, with families split apart in the cities, modern technology takes over.
I'll just explain you my form.
The newspapers are the modern matchmakers, with columns of advertisements boosting circulation into hundreds of thousands. They look for beauty, a clear skin, a good income, and a charming nature.
You can sign it here, sir. And you can write the place and the date also.
In addition, there must be a matching of castes and subcastes, and the astrological signs have to fit. The price of the advertisement includes a computer matching system that will scan its data banks for the most promising candidates. Potential matches are delivered to the doorstep every Sunday. The columns are eagerly scanned by parents for whom marrying off a child is considered the most important duty of their lives. Hundreds of other people who want a more personal touch make their way to the doors of this man, Professor Arora, matchmaker extraordinaire, partners for life, guaranteed.
Date of birth, 8 May 8 May 1960. Acha.
The self-styled professor records the names of thousands of clients in his ledgers. He has, in addition, a formidable memory, rivaling the computers, that he can also call upon to ensure a perfect match.
Now, beauty is a must. I understand.
5 foot 2 inch height, not less than 5 foot 2 inch. And she should be very, I mean to say, light in nature, amiable nature. Like this one I want.
He charges a flat fee for access to his information, and clients can return as often as they like until a successful marriage is achieved.
Her father is retired, mommy alive, age is 30, but looks 24.
The professor's office has a number of interviewing rooms where families are introduced to each other. His clientele are nearly all Hindus, and he sets aside particular nights for particular castes. The professor himself, the star of this show, moves from room to room, encouraging things along. There are so many clients, some have to wait on the pavements. While distinctions of caste are blurring in modern India, parents still feel comfortable marrying their children within the same community. The professor's fame has spread throughout India and overseas. But his one regret is, having arranged thousands of successful marriages, he is yet to be invited to even one of the weddings. Photographs of prospective brides are displayed and exchanged. In a country of bazaars, this is just another one of its kind, a marriage bazaar, where the transactions are discussed without shyness or embarrassment. Patience when looking for a match is essential. For some, it may be a matter of weeks. For others, years. But Professor Arora is only the first step to matrimony. Mr. Goswami's horoscope matching is of equal, if not greater, importance. The families may be matched on earth, but the stars in the heavens must be right as well. Most Hindus would say that at the moment of birth, we are geared into the stately cosmic procession of the stars, and our fate is meshed into the great scheme of things.
Because Jupiter is placed in the 6th house, and 6th house is a bad house, therefore it is bad for the male children. I mean, she is not likely to get male children. And what about her nature? I mean, is she going to be a very sweet-natured girl or an ill-tempered woman? Can you see from the horoscope?
And when all is right, preparations must go full speed ahead, keeping an army of skilled workers busy. The bride will be weighed down with elaborate gold jewelry, and the groom's family must buy her wedding sari, rich with silver and gold thread. It's a time to spend, spend, spend. Numerous gifts are traditionally passed around to those involved in the marriage ceremony, some having a ritual significance. It is a time when the art of bargaining is at its most cheerful and skillful. For the customer has a full purse and definitely has to buy. And the best gift of all, garlands of cash to be given to valued guests. Not too expensive, of course, but just the amount calculated to bring status to the giver. While traditional India still adheres to arranged marriages and segregating the couple till their wedding day, these barriers have broken down in modern-day love matches. Leena Samaya lives in an affluent section of Bombay, one of the most sophisticated of Indian cities. Leena says hers is a love match, yet the bride and groom just happen to belong to the same caste and social group. Her wedding is still days away, but the partying has already begun. Her fiancé, Ritin Ashar, has organised a bachelor's night. It took him several attempts to find a hotel willing to risk its reputation and host the event. On the surface, it may look like a wild affair, but about the worst thing that will come out of the night is a few hangovers. The women are professional dancing girls, and Ritin's friends will get more spendthrift with the innocent fun and games as the night and drinking get heavier. Ritin's father joins in the bachelor's night along with his friends. The money and the wine flow in another display of wealth and status. The following evening, there's a more sedate mixed party with traditional dancing from the state of Gujarat. Dancing with Ritin is something most communities would not permit prior to marriage. But here, the Hindu wedding traditions are reduced to the essentials, it being far more a social occasion. However, in the desert city of Jaipur, tradition is rigidly followed as two ancient warrior families come together. This is a marriage arranged firmly by Shalini's parents. Her girlfriends and aunts dance for her on this, her last night at home. When 19-year-old Shalini first met the particular groom, she never thought her parents would go ahead with the match. She was wrong, and tomorrow she will marry. In North India, the venue is traditionally the bride's home. The stern priest to Shalini's family wants the sacred ground prepared just so. It takes 4 hours to satisfy his positioning.
This house is quite nice. I haven't seen it before.
One of the most detailed of preparations for a bride is to have exquisite designs painted on the hands with mehendi or henna. The mehendi is a mixture of dried henna leaves and dry astringent katichu mixed with water. The purpose is to make them sweet-smelling, and because the designs last for several days, a reminder of her marriage vows. The precise auspicious moment at which the rituals begin has been selected by the Pandit, the family priest. The stars are right for the first phase, which he performs for Shalini's parents. The groom's arrival is preceded by gifts. The presentation is supposed to impress and pave the way for more gifts to follow. They include the wedding dress and jewellery, which Shalini must put on before the groom arrives. Accompanied by the males of his family and close friends, the groom, Vikram Singh, arrives on the back of an elephant in one of the many stages of his journey to claim his bride. He is a captain in the Army's Armour Division in Burma near Jaisalmer and must return to his post soon after the wedding. The bride's friends crowd the doorway to catch their first glimpse of the captain. At the same time in Bombay, Ritin is arriving in his imported BMW. He too will alight and then straddle a horse, just as his ancestors did. But only for a short distance. Ritin is not a noted horseman. The turbans worn by the men symbolize male honor, which is of great significance in marriage. While little of the fear for the unknown remains in a wedding of love, Lena is still tense and slightly nervous. However, the bulk of the ceremony will be quickly dealt with at a hotel, where Lena's family have invited 1,200 guests to attend. In Jaipur, each symbolic ritual is carried out with painstaking care. Captain Singh strikes the Toran, the sign which will later be fixed to the bride's family home in her memory. A series of games is played out at the entrance to Shalini's home. A successful strike at his heart with rice ball missiles signifies the love to be found in marriage. She gets 7 tries, but with little defense offered, it's bullseye every time. The sacred fire is the centerpiece of the ritual that follows. The 2-hour-long ceremony will be carried out as in the Rig Veda, the text written for Hindus over 3,000 years ago. Shalini feels to be a married woman offers her a more secure and respected social position in Hindu life. The climax of the ceremony comes when the couple, their hands tied together, circle the fire 7 times, stepping on rice and rose petals to bless the union. Leaving her father's care, she will now be subject to her husband's protective and guiding force. Simultaneously, a tally is being kept of the money given as presents. A round number is considered unlucky, so the gift will always be supplemented by a single note. 101 rupees is a popular amount. She will renew every day the crimson sindoor in her hair to signify her married state. In Bombay, 25 minutes is all that's required to cement Lena and Ritin's life together. The ceremony is recorded on videotape for absent friends and relatives. There will be several more days of partying before their honeymoon cruise to the South Pacific. A honeymoon is a Western concept which middle-class Indians have embraced. Former Maharajas' palaces, now palatial hotels, are eagerly sought settings for affluent honeymooners. But few newlyweds can afford the Lake Palace Hotel at Udaipur. The nearby hill resort of Mount Abu is a more accessible spot. At Mount Abu, many houses surround the Naki Talao, an artificial lake studded with islands. Many of the former princes from the surrounding parts of India had houses here. It is the classic holiday resort. And the buses, like Noah's Ark, bring them 2 by 2 to this honeymoon land. Sometimes whole families will join the couple on their holiday. Business in this town is particularly brisk during the traditional wedding seasons around April and October. This couple have been married just 2 days and will spend the week holidaying together.
This Kashmiri, and this Rajasthani, and this Rajasthani, Kashmiri, and couple styles, new marriage couple styles.
Honeymoons are usually short, but in the few days before returning to everyday reality, the couples squeeze in all the innocent fun they can manage, dressing up in the costumes representative of parts of India that they can probably never afford to visit.
Naturally, why? પાછા ઉસો બીજો પાછા લઈને પછી તમે ઉછાળીને આના ઉપર સામને તરફ આપજો.
Mount Abu is perhaps the only place in India where young couples can openly display affection. Indian movies are often the only role models available to these honeymooners. For many, it is the only quality time they will ever really have to themselves. Relative strangers, now related strangers, get to know each other. There will be little sexual knowledge on either side. And for many, the confines of a joint family life are only a few days away. The trolleys that carry baggage during the day are romantic rickshaws at dusk. The focus every evening is Sunset Point. On the way there, they join a stream of others, all wearing wedding finery. Groups of couples tend to befriend one another. After all, often their partners are as much unknown to them as their fellow guests. Many Indian couples are denied even this short time together. But for those lucky enough to get away to Mount Abu, the ingrained restraint that governs sexual relationships is relaxed just a little. When the bride returns to her future home, she will for a time be more isolated than ever before in her life. Her only bond will be her husband. Far away to the north, in Kashmir, the eldest daughter in a simple Muslim family is facing her wedding day. In contrast to Hindu weddings, which are regarded as an unbreakable sacrament, a Muslim wedding is a contract, which in theory can be dissolved. The bride prepares to live with a man she has never seen, not even in a photograph. Tonight, she's leaving home. Her father is not a rich man and is glad to have made a good match for his daughter. Fireworks herald the arrival of the groom. It is the first time the female members of his new family will have seen him. He's a clerk in a government office, and he arrives with his uncles and boyhood friends. Rose petals and garlands of money pave his way to the bride's house. The marriage contract is already in place. That was settled a few days ago. Now, all he has to do is feast and take his bride away. Kashmiri Muslims have a fine tradition of cuisine. But meat is expensive, and since the entire village has to be fed, the cost is heavy and one the bride's father can ill afford. Still, appearances have to be maintained, and the bride's family all work to feed the groom and his guests. The bride sits with the women of her family and is fed sweets to soften the bitterness of parting. As a new wife, she observes the Muslim tradition of purdah, which literally means behind the curtain. Covering oneself from the gaze of mixed company reflects both obedience and respect for one's husband. Her time of departure is fast approaching. Her father bids her goodbye. Her lot has been cast into the unknown, and to return to her family would be a disgrace. Her only tie with home will be a girlfriend who will stay with her for a week. She leaves in the darkness of the night, honored with the back seat. He sits in front. They still have not set eyes on each other. In Cochin, in South India, a different kind of Muslim ceremony is taking place. Jesna awaits the completion of her wedding contract with Gafur. It's called the nikah, which simply means the joining of hands. But in this case, not the hands of the bride and groom. In a nearby hall, the groom and his family are joined by several friends and learned scholars. Gafur and his father-in-law join hands as he makes his vows to support and protect his wife. Jesna is unaware that the marriage contract is in fact complete. Gafur is congratulated, and then the menfolk join the women for the final formalities. The exchange of garlands is a public acknowledgement that they are now man and wife. Family photos over, the guests move on to the groom's residence. It is an opportunity for Jesna's family to look over her new home. The couple are pleased with each other, although this marriage has its practical side as well. Gafur is set to progress, for his father-in-law will give him a shop of his own. So the alliance is a good deal in more ways than one. The families are anxious to put on a good show, and their standing in the community demands a lavish feast. Once the feast is over, the couple move on to the bride's house. A local tradition decrees that this is where the couple should spend their first night of marriage. The familiar surroundings will calm Jesna's fears about her new life. The womenfolk sing a welcoming song and then leave. Next, after a 7-day enforced togetherness at the groom's home, Gafur's life returns to normal, and his work in his father's shop resumes. Jesna will not go out to work, but will join the Zenana, the women's world of cooking and bearing children. And indeed, that is what Gafur's family now expects of Jesna, the birth of a child, preferably male. Her main ally in this new family is her young sister-in-law, who has herself just had a baby. Centuries ago, the Mughal Emperor Akbar built this city called Fatehpur Sikri in honor of a Muslim saint who foretold the birth of his son. Now, Indians from all religions throng to this tomb of Salim Chishti. Children are seen as continuing the family name and providers of their parents in old age, in a country where a welfare state would cripple the economy. The family is the safety net for its members too old to look after themselves. Families who have had their wishes fulfilled give thanks. And couples still awaiting the birth of their first child come to seek the blessing of the saint for a son. They tie a woolen thread to the latticework as a pledge and return to untie it and honor the saint's memory when their wishes are fulfilled. The Hindu city of Varanasi is one of the holiest places in India. It stands on the banks of the Ganges, itself India's most revered river. For Hindus to die here ensures eternal life, but one cannot prepare for death if their worldly duties have not been fulfilled. Marriage is one of the cornerstones of a true Hindu's life. With it, childhood ends, and the consolidation of the family and its important social status begins. Marriage gives weight to a person's social position, and the continuity children provide fulfills their religious and economic duty. For it is only when a man has seen his family blessed with stability that he can move on to the higher and more ascetic realms of his life. And when that too is ended, here on the Ganges, it will be his family who must bring his body with honor to be burnt on the banks of the river. His soul will speed to heaven only if there is an elder son to light the flames. The elder son will then take over the responsibility of the joint family, will look after his father's widow with respect, and guide the family safely towards their distant shores of destiny. Marriage, therefore, is a vital institution, and an early union is the urgent duty of parent and child alike. But what if the costs are so high that a poor family cannot embark upon it? In attempts to stall the marriage expense, the bride may become too old to find a partner. In this simple hut of a poor Harijan family, the bride is weaving a garland, the only investment she will need for a forthcoming marriage. Their salvation has been a remarkable social experiment, carried out in a South Indian town since 1972. The town is Dharmasthala, and once a year, armed with the blessings of their families, hundreds of couples assemble for a single mass wedding, with all expenses paid. The temple here has been run for 20 generations by a family of religious philanthropists known as the Geddes. Every April, the guardian of the temple, Virendra Hegde, organizes the wedding. Each bride receives her marriage sari, each groom his dhoti. On this occasion, 330 couples from 41 separate castes are to be joined together in one simple, mass, inexpensive yet dignified ceremony. The ceremony is geared to reinforcing the pride of the couples, rather than taking on the air of a charitable event. "660 newlyweds can feel that they have been provided with the very best for the occasion." A symbolic bride and groom of noble descent accompany the young people to the ceremonial tents. The people here have travelled from as far away as 300 kilometres for their one special day in this one special place. There are no elaborate rites of the Vedic weddings, nor the long chant of magic mantras. Virendra Hegede's inspiration brings together people from varied castes and creeds in a single moment of unity. By his bold experiment, Virendra Hegede has removed the burden of financial debt and the need for ostentatious display by these families. At the auspicious moment, 660 people are joined in matrimony, with the simple exchange of jasmine and marigold garlands. The temple also presents them with the Mangal Sutra, a gilt marriage necklace. From now on, she will wear it until widowhood. Virendra Hegede keeps a register of all these marriages and often takes on the role of marriage counsellor as well as surrogate parent. After the wedding, the couples parade through the town displaying discreet affection. The freedom and display of Mount Abu is not for these conservative people. The mass wedding feast is also in the tradition of the temple's hospitality. 3,000 guests can be fed at a time. For Indians, the sanctity of marriage fulfills religious, social and economic order, and remains critical to a family's life cycle. It is a sacred state shared by both divine gods and the humblest of villagers. It is through marriage that spiritual, physical and cultural continuity is preserved, not only for the couples, but for generations to come.